Poetry lesson number 2, Figurative Language Part 1. Today I am defining and identifying simile, metaphor, and personification so that I can be a more proficient reader of poetry. I will know I've met the objective when I have correctly identified the figurative language in 4 out of 5 excerpts. Our Do Now question number 1 asks, how are poems similar to music? How are they different? I'll set up a frame for your response. Poems are similar to music because, and then they are different because it is your job to complete what goes on in these lines. So what is one way that they are alike and one way that they are different? Next question. Which of these is an example of simile? The children were exhausted. Her eyes were like jewels. The cymbals crashed noisily. He jumped into the icy lake. Remember that a simile uses the words like or as. So which of these examples uses the word like or as to compare two different things? Which is an example of a metaphor? This time it doesn't use like or as, but it does compare two different things. So the wind danced in my hair, I don't see two things compared. We heard the clock ticking, that just sounds like a description. His arms were becoming tired, also sounds like a description. The apple pie was heaven. This sounds like comparing an apple pie to heaven. So I would guess that that's the correct answer. Next question. We're going to go on to the next page. Now, figurative language is language that is used in an imaginative way. This week, or for this lesson, we're going to focus on 3 types of figurative language that are often used in poetry. The first type of figurative language is a simile, and that's a comparison between two very different things using the words as or like. For instance, those girls are like 2 peas in a pod. In this example, the girls are being compared to a pea pod. So the girls and the pod. And why? Because they are both close. A metaphor is a comparison between two very different things made by saying that one thing is the other. For example, the pillow was a cloud when I put my head upon it after a long day. In this case, the pillow is being compared to the cloud because they are both soft. So the pillow is compared to a cloud. And the last type of figurative language is personification. And this is when we give human qualities to things that are not human. For example, my pencil refused to follow instructions, so my drawing came out looking terrible. What object is given human qualities? The pencil is. And the human quality is refusing to follow directions. Now let's practice. Identify the type of figurative language being used by circling either metaphor, simile, or personification. Then explain how you know by providing evidence. So we see life is like a long journey to an unknown destination. I immediately saw this word like. Let me see if there are 2 things being compared. Life and an unknown destination. Since this uses the word like and it compares 2 things, this is a simile. Next one. The squeaky door sang the same song over and over again. The door sang the same song. This is given a human characteristic to the door. This is personification. How do I know? Doors can't sing. Number 3. The kangaroo, a rubber ball, bounced around its cage. This one, I don't see like or as, so I know it's not a simile. They do seem like they're comparing 2 things. The kangaroo to a rubber ball. So this is a metaphor. Number 4. The fresh $5 bill in my wallet called out to me, asking me to spend it. The dollar bill in my wallet called out to me? Dollars can't talk, so this is personification. I'll put money can't talk. Let's go to our next page. Jacob's new puppy is an eating machine. The note on the refrigerator unlocked the mystery of the missing peanut butter. The new puppy is an eating machine. They're comparing the puppy to a machine. But I don't see the word like or as, so metaphor. The veil on the bride's head looked like a cloud made of lace. Ooh, I immediately see this word like. Let me see if it's a simile. Does it compare two different things? Well, they say the veil looks like a cloud. So this would indeed be a simile. Number 7. As gentle as a spring breeze, Mom pulled the blanket up over the baby's shoulder. I see the word as. They're comparing Mom to the spring breeze. Okay. Now, for the independent practice, it says to identify the type of figurative language being used in the song Firework. We're actually not going to do this section. You can put a cross through it. When you turn the page, you'll see that you're ready for the exit slip. You're going to circle the best answer for each of the following multiple choice questions. Number 1. A few minutes later, like overheated popcorn, kids would explode out the back door, red-faced and screaming. What is being compared in the simile in this sentence? Are minutes and kids, overheated popcorn in the door, red-faced and screaming, or overheated popcorn and kids? Remember, what 2 things would you put on each side of the bridge map? Number 2, Mooney of the pie plate face and raisin eyes. The narrator uses a comparison to show that what? Is his face uninteresting, his face soft and smooth, his face without expression, or childlike? So this one is comparing his face to a pie plate. So what are they saying about his face? Okay. Number 3. The car's motor puttered happily after I filled the tank with gas. Is this an example of a simile, metaphor, personification, or none of the above? Number 4. Birds in the maple tree chirped loud as the kids in the cafeteria. They chirped as loud as. Is this a simile, metaphor, personification, or none of the above? And number 5. The bar soap was as slippery eel during the dog's bath. Is this simile, metaphor, personification, or none of the above? Congratulations on completing lesson 2. Hopefully you got 4 out of 5 questions correct. Good job. Go ahead and move on to the next lesson.